Well, good morning. It's first service day today. I'm on my way to Bike Treads in Swindon. They're the closest Royal Enfield dealer to me. They're about half an hour away from home. I've not used Bike Treads for anything before, any servicing, or actually never even been there. But they've got a good reputation and I'm sure everything will be fine. But I'll let you know later how I get on. It's not particularly cheap for a first service. They've quoted me £210. I think that's all in, parts and labour. But I know they're not checking valve clearances on the first service. So £210 seems like quite a lot for basically an oil and filter change. There's a couple of other bits and pieces I need them to take a look at while the bike's in. I put a video on YouTube a couple of days ago about a cutting out problem I've had with this bike. To be fair, it has only happened once. There's a few things that could be causing that. The main consensus when you look at other people's experiences seems to be the amount of grease they stuff into the relays. So as I say, it's only happened once, but nonetheless needs investigating all the same. Did have one occasion where a little bit of a starting problem. This bike always just starts on the button, as you'd expect for a new bike. But on one occasion, it was being a bit stubborn. Needed 3 or 4 goes to get the thing started. Could be related to the cutting out problem, I guess. Anyway, they're things that you don't want on a new bike, so let's hope the dealer can sort that all out for me. So the other things that need doing, one of them's ridiculous really and should have been sorted out on the PDI, and that's the rear indicators. They're both looking in different directions. One of them's pointing slightly upwards, one of them's pointing slightly downwards. So that's a quick adjustment. I probably could have done it myself, to be fair, but I'll let the dealer do that. So another relatively small issue is some condensation I'm getting in the clocks here. When I picked up the bike from new, it was very apparent that both clocks had some fogging, and it had gone completely by the time I got home from collecting the bike, and actually hadn't returned until this morning. Now that's not something they're going to be able to fix easily. It's really just a question of whether it would be covered by a warranty claim. I'm not holding out too much hope for that, but it's not a major issue really. One other thing I need to discuss with the dealer is a scratch to the black paintwork on the engine. A day or two after I got the bike, I noticed a little, looked like a paintbrush hair just stuck to the cylinder head on the right hand side. And naturally I just picked it off, but that hair was actually underneath the paint. So as I pulled that hair away, it left a thin hairline, effectively scratch, on the surface of the paint. So that's going to come down to the factory really. So I suspect this one is probably not going to go particularly well, but we'll see how we get on. So you join me a few hours later, and I've just picked up the bike from Bike Treads. So pretty happy with Bike Treads in terms of the overall experience. The look and the feel of the place is spot on, and they're all very friendly. The response though to the issues that I've got with the bike was, I suppose, fairly predictable. Didn't leave me feeling completely satisfied, but there are some obvious limitations as to how much time and effort a dealer can put into diagnostic work if they're not going to get paid by Royal Enfield, and that's always the challenge, isn't it, with intermittent problems. Unless it's obvious and staring you in the face when the bike's in the dealership, they're very loath to do too much investigation to try and work out what's going on, for fear of committing time and money and not getting it back from the manufacturer. So with the one occasion that this bike has cut out on me, they checked the relays, which was probably the most likely fault. Everything seemed okay there. Hadn't recorded any fault code on the bike. They couldn't replicate it. They couldn't find anything wrong. But here's me as a consumer, having just spent a few £1,000s on a new motorcycle. Where does that leave me? So I asked to see the workshop manager so we could talk this through, sensibly. And to be fair, their workshop manager, I think his name was Martin, I'm not sure. But it was very good, came out, spent ages talking through this and was quite realistic. Empathised with my position. And equally, I can empathise with his position. Because as a dealer, you can't just keep spending loads of time and money investigating an issue which you may or may not find, and then getting no recompense from the manufacturer. So a little bit of a catch-22. So ultimately, and I suppose fairly predictably, we agreed on a plan where I would obviously just keep an eye on it, and if it happened again, make a note of the very specific circumstances in which it happened, i.e. was I accelerating, decelerating, changing gear up or down, clutch in, clutch out, etc, etc. And then there'll be more data, more stuff to work on if they need to start drilling down a little bit further. But obviously if push comes to shove, I'll have no issues at all about contacting Royal Enfield directly and explaining to them, politely but firmly, that something's got to be done about it. I'm not overly bothered. The bike's been an absolute dream. As I've said several times, every time I get on this bike, it's just beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely bike in every other way. But these little problems, especially with a new bike, need sorting out, so they're more of a niggle than a major concern. But we'll get there, no problem. The other issue with the condensation in the clocks, which is completely cleared up now incidentally, as you'd expect. Very, very bizarre response from Royal Enfield. Apparently they've had it so often that kind of tightened up the rules a little bit around whether to approve a warranty claim. So ultimately the dealer has to have the bike on site with photographic evidence of the clocks steamed up, and then I think something like 12 hours later, if the clocks remain steamed up, they may then consider a warranty claim. But of course the reality of the situation is the condensation is going to appear in the usual kind of circumstances where we've had some very cold temperatures followed fairly quickly by some slightly warmer temperatures, which will cause the condensation. So, ultimately it was almost a kind of live with it. And to be honest, I can live with it, no biggie. The service manager actually said to me that what a lot of people do is stick those, those little kind of silicone sachets, whatever they are, that you get in a lot of packaging. Just stick one of those inside each of the clocks. I think you just drop the backs off, pop one of those sachets in each. He said that'll do the trick. I may or may not bother. It's only now and again that it's going to happen, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but at least I know where I stand. And the other issue regarding the paint lifting on the cylinder head got a more positive response. So the dealer has seen it, agreed with my claim essentially, and they have put in a warranty claim to Enfield. Obviously that doesn't yet mean that Enfield have approved it, but a claim's gone in, so I can't ask for more than that, and we'll see what happens. I think the only other thing that I asked them to do was to line up the rear indicators, and they've done that, no problem. So all in all, a little bit of a mixed bag today. Glad to get the first service done. perfectly happy with bike treads in terms of their kind of response and attitude, but one or two silly situations on these little faults with the bike, not deal breakers, but something that you'd expect a slightly better response from a manufacturer, which I may get if indeed I need to go directly to Royal Enfield to share my thoughts with them. But none of those things come even close to ruining the experience. This bike is a little treasure.